Hey, it's Birdman here for Birdman on the Mountain, hanging out at Stione Wealth Strategies, and I've got with me again Paul Berry. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
So today we're going to chat a little bit about something you've been to quite a bit, and I've been to at least once.
Yep.
So we'll just once.
Yep.
And that is it's the American Dream Experience.
Correct.
And that's with Mark Matson.
It's Mark Matson. Mark came up with that name, and he developed it. It's a 2-day workshop. It is virtually strictly PhD level stuff about investing, and not only about the mechanics of investing and how our system works and why it works better than anything else, but it's also about the brain science. And in fact, he spends a lot of time on the brain science. He spends the first full day just strictly on brain science.
Right.
And when I'm saying brain science, you develop your own stuff through. You get a little workbook and stuff to work with for the 2 days. And one of the presentations is Mind Over Money, which again is, your brain gets in the way of almost everything. 95% of investing is pretty much in your brain and is pretty much subconscious.
Yeah.
You don't even know you're doing it. And that's part of the reason that people are not necessarily very successful at doing their own investing or having somebody else do it for them, like a broker-dealer or something like that, J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, whatever, is because they know the brain science and they use it against you. Okay. And that's really a terrible thing.
So back up a little bit.
Yes.
I got to tell you, when you first like pitched this to me, and I was at an event here, a community event, and it was pitched out, and I've been around for a little bit. This really felt familiar, and it felt like something that it isn't. And I want to make sure people understand that. It really felt like it was a multi-level marketing, that MLM, Amway.
You told me that.
Like it felt that way.
Yeah.
So, and I want the other people feel that way too. They felt like, oh, whoa, this feels like that.
Yeah.
I can tell you through personal experience of going to it, being through it, and this has been quite some time. We're coming up probably a year from when I did it. That's not it at all.
Correct.
Yeah. And they even start the whole event recognizing the fact that it might feel that way, don't they?
Yes, he does. One of the first things Mark mentions after we do the national anthem, one of the first things he recognizes with the class is we're not here to sell you a timeshare. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to educate you.
Yeah.
And it is strictly education. But again, it's education really at a doctorate level, both the brain science side of it and the transactional side of it.
Yeah, literally, he gave me food, really good food. He gave me, comfortable place to be. He gave me a hat. He gave me a shirt. And literally, I've not gotten anybody. Nobody's followed up with, oh, by the way, we want you to invest in this. We want this foundation. We want that. None of that.
No. In fact, we leave there with none of that trying to get you to buy anything or do anything or even move money.
Yeah.
That doesn't occur until we've had some other conversations later on after the American Dream experience. And those conversations are not necessarily they're still on the educational process too.
Yeah.
We leave it open to the individual as to what they want to do and when they want to do it.
Yeah, and honestly, we had done all that previous to going to the American Dream experience. We had already determined to move our money and did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
I know I talked to Allison.
Yep.
about it a little bit, but I didn't realize you guys had actually
Yeah, we had already initiated the move and moved stuff over and set up a kids account.
To be really honest, once the class is over, the American Dream Experience, that 2-day experience, and I will tell you this, I always go down, I have to go down the day before. It's a required day for all advisors.
Right.
But I never drive home that Friday night because even me, who's been through it now probably 15, almost 20 times,
Right.
I am totally exhausted at the end of it.
Yeah.
Even though I know everything that's coming out, everything that's being presented, and everything else, it's a truly exhausting experience. And most people feel that way. And we're also finding out that a lot of our clients and stuff that come down, and the client really is investing in this process. They're investing in themselves by doing this. They're giving up 2 days. You and your wife both work for yourselves. Your wife works for somebody else. She got time off. I don't know if she got paid time off or not. But irregardless, people who do this, actually it costs them money because they're having to be here instead of being at work. A doctor, he's not doing surgeries, he's not seeing patients and stuff. So that's an expense. That's an investment.
And it was 2 days during the week. It wasn't giving up a weekend.
Correct.
I kind of like that actually.
It's always on a Thursday and Friday.
Right.
And it's when Mark first came up with this program, it's about 7 or 8 years ago now. He presented it, and I'd had a number of conversations with him beforehand, and I said, this is the best way anybody can invest their money.
Right.
There's hands down, there's nothing better than doing it this way. And I said, I read his first book, which is called Main Street Money. And I don't know if you have that
I've not seen that
read
one.
that.
No.
But Main Street Money, I was probably through the 5th or 6th chapter in that book and literally said to myself, where the hell has this been all my life?
Right.
Can I swear on?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. No FCC regulation here.
Okay. So anyways, and I traded my own account. In fact, my first trading experience was I opened an account with I can't remember the name of it. They were out of Kansas, and they were bought out by WME just before the 2008-2009 crash.
Oh yeah.
And they were a good brokerage house. But I opened an account to trade commodities. I had no intention of trading stocks.
Right.
And I didn't do well. I didn't lose my shirt either, because I would put stops real close to where I knew I didn't want to lose any more money.
Right.
And for a long time, I always got stopped out. So anyways, I read Mark's book and said to myself, where the heck has this been all my life? And by that time, I had started investing in stocks.
In stocks, yeah.
And because 2007, 2008. And I was smart enough to know that, everything isn't going to go to zero. I mean, a lot of companies did go to zero.
Some do, but
they went out of business and people lost all the money that they had, whatever that stock was, whatever they bought it at, well, it's now worth zero and will never come back from that. But I knew that everybody wasn't going to go to zero. But I started trading companies that I was familiar with, GE, Ford, IBM, big guys, and guys I figured weren't going to go out of business.
Right.
Now, General Motors was talking about going out of business at that time, and I never traded General Motors primarily because of that. And I traded Ford only because I drive Fords and I like the vehicle. But I also figured Ford, is still, it's not still family owned, but the family owns an awful lot of Ford stock.
Right.
They pretty much rely on that Ford stock always being there forever. So I figured Ford was going to figure a way that they wouldn't have to file bankruptcy and wipe out all of the stockholders. So that's the reason I traded Ford. Anyways, I traded a whole bunch of companies. And the 2007-2008 crash occurred. In 2008, Barack Obama was elected. And when I first saw the guy on the scene, I thought he sounded pretty reasonable. And the evening he got elected, the speech he made in some park in Chicago told me this guy has every intention of following through with his promise of transforming America. And I didn't like his transformation or his idea of how he wanted to transform the country. So I immediately went to my stockbroker, and I didn't get rid of all the stocks, I just shorted them all.
Right.
In other words, I froze my account. If the stocks went up, they went up on the long side, went down on the short side, but they always, the amount, the value was there, always stayed the same.
Right.
So I sat on them for a while, and actually I didn't realize it, but early in 2009 was the bottom of that 2008-2009 crash. Didn't realize it, and I don't think the world realized that.
Yeah.
But I spent the next 4 years, Barack Obama, was in office for 4 years. I spent the next 4 years trying to figure out how to get back in the market. In other words, how to time the market.
Yep.
Which is a no-no.
Yes.
Which you learned. I think you learned it pretty well.
Well, so far you've described stock picking and stock timing, both of which are like, don't do that.
Exactly.
and by the way, none of this is actual advice. This is just what Paul's done. So
yes.
this is
this is my experience.
Yes.
So, anyways, the day before the 2012 election, I went into my broker, and at the time my broker was Schwab. I went into my broker and I said, liquidate my accounts.
Right.
Period. So liquidate short side, liquidate the long side. So now I have a big chunk of cash sitting there, and I still don't know what to do with it. And literally, I spent the next, that was 2012. I didn't get my securities license,
right.
or my Series 65, until 2019. So I spent this whole time just looking at the market, watching the market go up and up and up and up.
Right.
So I knew it had bottomed, but so I'm still struggling with trying to figure out when to get back into the market.
Right. That timing. Time it. Time it.
Timing is absolutely. I mean, it's
guessing.
Probably
right?
worse. It's probably worse than stock picking. It's the worst mental thing that you can do. Stock picking you're usually doing because you're familiar with the companies or whatever. Somebody told you it's a great deal, whatever. Timing is just, and it's a personal type thing because it's, and it's a prediction.
Well, it's no different than timing when you're going to join the craps table to start figuring out when to put your money down on the craps table, right?
That could be, but I've never played craps and never intended to.
Yeah.
The most I ever did in gambling was put some quarters and stuff in a...
I don't know. It sounds like you're describing gambling to me.
You're exactly right. But I'm talking about gambling in a casino and stuff.
In the traditional sense.
And again, I know craps. I know craps tables. I've watched the movies and stuff. These guys down on their knees, and and I decided I didn't want to play a game where I had to kneel to play the game. So So anyways, 2019, I got my securities license. I'd been to a lot of Matson's training and stuff, and I'd read the book quite a bit a couple of years before that.
Right.
And I finally decided, what the heck, I think this is the best thing since sliced bread. So I decided to go ahead and put my money now back into the equities market, and I did it under the Matson method and stuff. And it's been the right decision since. And I don't care who you are, it's never the wrong decision.
Very good.
And it's never the wrong time to invest in the market. Because although the market does crash from time to time, 2008 is a perfect example of that. The market since
its inception,
since whoever invented the stock market back in the late 1700s is the first stock trades that were ever made. I don't know if it was done on an exchange or not, but those were the first stock trades and stuff that were made. And the market has trended up for that length of time.
Yep.
Yes, it does crash, but 20% crash. The 2008 was about a 50% crash, but the next 100% will always be up.
Yeah.
That's just how the market works.
Very good. So that's basically the overview of the American Dream experience, and
Pretty much.
some of your experience of how you got to that.
Pretty much.
So I think that'll be it for this time with Paul Berry here at Stione Wealth Strategies. I'm Birdman, and we'll see you soon.